Let R be the region bounded by the graph of f of x equals sine x squared, the x-axis, and the vertical line x equals square root of pi over 2. And we see we have that sketched here. Here's the piece of the graph of sine of x squared that's between 0 and square root of pi over 2. Find the volume of the solid generated when R is revolved around the y-axis. We're going to do this with the shell method because that's what we're practicing. So if we rotate this around the y-axis, you can picture what this is going to look like. The exterior is going to be cylindrical. The interior is going to have this scoop out of it. So kind of a bowl shape inside with this kind of a shape as we rotate around. So as we look at these cylindrical shells, we can see that we would have a little thickness dx. And as we rotate this around, then we can see that the length of that is going to be the circumference, with this being our radius. That's going to be the x value. So we are going to integrate between 0 and square root of pi over 2. Our length is our circumference, 2 pi x. And our height here is just going to be our y value. In terms of x, that's going to be sine x squared. And then our little thickness dx. Now to integrate that, I'm going to use u substitution. I'm going to call this u. So if u is x squared, then du is 2x dx. Aha, and that's good because there is 2x dx right there. So let's go ahead and do our substitution. Now I need to change my limits of integration because they're in terms of x. I need to get them in terms of u. So if x is 0, put it in here, u is also 0. If x is square root of pi over 2, I square that and I get pi over 2 for u. Now I'm going to move the pi out in front, and this is going to be then sine u, and this 2x dx becomes du. Now I'm ready to do the integration. So I still have pi out in front, and the antiderivative of sine u is going to be negative cosine u, and I need to evaluate that from 0 to pi over 2. So that's going to be pi multiplied by negative cosine of pi over 2 is 0 minus negative, so that'll make that a positive. Cosine of 0 is 1. So it looks like that's going to be pi. So the volume as we rotate this region around the y-axis is pi.